Rock that boogie, get your rocking shoes, we gonna rock and roll. Come on, cats, let's go, go, go. Hold on.
Okay, welcome back to El Pachuco Chronicles. Yes, we have been away for a little while. I would say a little hiatus, but we are back, and we've got a lot of things coming up. So I want everybody to introduce themselves. My guy on my left, go ahead.
Good morning, Ray. This is Pachuco Manny from Paramount. I've known the family for over 40 years.
I remember when you used to sell us paint. That was one of your
Valspar
first
paint.
jobs.
Yeah, Valspar.
About 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Who else do I have here?
Hi, I'm Christina Romero. I'm one of the organizers in the community. We do Zoot Suit events, lowrider events, community events, and yeah.
You've been involved, and you're kind of like, you've been getting a lot of things done.
Yes, well, we have to do whatever we can for our community to make sure that we boost our community and we take, new conversations are built around the things that we're doing.
Always.
Yes.
Who else am I here with?
Hi, everyone. It's Vanessa.
Vanessa, you have done a lot of things, and we have to touch on all of them. Even with the Peterson, we haven't even talked about that yet.
Well, that's another conversation, Ray. Today, let's not get excited. Yes, there's a lot going on, but today we have two very special people here at the store, and we want to make sure that we talk about the upcoming events that are taking place. And we owe it all to our very own Pachuco Manny, who started the Zoot Suit Riots. How long? Zoot Suit Riot Cruises.
It's 2018,
7 years ago. That is amazing. And
we kind of, when he came with this idea, I remember us being like, oh, like, really? They're going to want to do this? Now it's the thing.
Yeah, it's the thing.
People come from all over.
Well, maybe you thought that, Ray. We knew it was going to be a huge success. I mean, you talk about cruising, you talk about Pachucos, and it's definitely something that's going to happen. We have a big community of not just lowriders, but Pachucos that are very active in the community and making sure that we make awareness of the Pachuco culture. So none of this, I mean, it's Manny's dream. Manny thought about this idea, but none of it could happen without Christina.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Without
you're the
all
mover,
of us.
you're the
She's
doer.
the mover and the shaker.
You really are. So tell us all about this event, because
Yes,
normally
when is it?
Normally it's in June. It happens around the Zoot Suit Riots. But you decided to make a little twist this year and do something different. Tell us all about it.
So we feel there's a lot of history regarding the Zoot Suit situation. It's not just the riots. The riots were kind of the culmination of other things that happened. And so we felt that this year, moving it from a Zoot Suit riot theme to more paying tribute to the Sleepy Lagoon events and situations, that really kind of kicked off all of the movement to the Zoot Suit riots. And so I think that it's important, especially connecting it to what's going on now in society. Just the whole apprehension of young Chicano men and women because of who they were, the color of their skin, what they wore, and putting them through all these trials and tribulations because of that. And I think it's important that we educate our community, about these events and how history repeats itself. And it's still very relevant what happened back then in 1942 as to what's happening now in 2025.
Now, you're a teacher.
I'm a
And I
teacher.
love the fact that you're here talking to us about this history, because I've been getting a lot of feedback, I guess I should say, put it in a nice way,
Yes.
from some of our followers and some of our customers who say the Zoot Suit riots and the Zoot Suit has nothing to do with what is happening today. Can you please elaborate a little bit more on that and why you and I were having this conversation and you completely disagree. Can you please tell us a little bit about that? And again, I have to emphasize, you are an educator. You are a teacher. You have been for many decades in LA. And so
1 second.
And so hold on. And so please go ahead and explain that to us.
So I am a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. And one of the questions I get a lot is, why do we have to learn all this stuff? And it's because you have to know your past history. History always repeats itself. And we are seeing that right now in action, working overtime. And if we don't understand our past history, then we can't influence our future history, right? And so it's important to understand the meanings of different events that happen throughout time. And, if we look at the 1900s now into the 2000s, all of the things that took place in the civil rights movement, all of the different events around World War I and II, the Hitlers, the Japanese internments, all of those things, we're seeing all of this play itself out again. And so one of the things that we need to really do is we need to educate and re-educate people on what these things really meant to our society in terms of our setbacks and our growth. We've made some growth and we've made some forward movement in history, in the civil rights era, in Chicano history, in all history. But we're also seeing ourselves take a lot of steps back right now. Mm-hmm. So how do we take that and learn from that so that when this time will pass, the pendulum will swing back, and we have to be ready to lead. And if you look at our country now, we're going through a change in demographics, and demographics is the makeup of the country.
Yes.
In 15 years, we're going to be a minority-majority country. It's never been that in the history of this country. Right now, everybody 18 and under is minority-majority. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter how many people he tries to bring in from South Africa, it's just not going to change that direction. And so that's what we're seeing. When we look back on the history books in 100 years, we're going to see this time of strife and what was causing it. And it's the fear of the white people, that they're losing control, that they're going to lose this country. And so there's going to be some desperation and things that are happening that are atrocious that are happening today. And again, though, the pendulum will swing back, and we have to be ready when that happens to lead. We have to be serious about our votes. We're in this situation right now because of how a lot of people voted. A lot of people that are in harsh situations right now voted for this guy. And so we have to take our voting seriously. Votes is the only time they ask you your opinion, and it counts. One vote makes a difference. Many elections are being decided now, very small margins, right? And so every single vote counts. And I'm getting kind of off to the left here, but it's important because in 2026, we have another opportunity to flip this legislature, to go back a little bit, to put some controls in place. And if we don't get out and think that this is important, we're going to be in a whole world of hurt for a lot longer than we need to be. So, again, history has a lot to do with how we think about things, how we put our effort towards things like voting, towards protesting, towards being able to just stand up and speak for what's right, and other parts of our community that need that help and that assistance if we have those platforms.
It's important that, because here at El Pachuco, we've always been very neutral, and we've always said, once you walk in through those doors, we always try to stay politics free. But it's really hard not to speak up when the people that are being affected, especially today, are the generations of families that we have served for, we're celebrating 47 years. Mm-hmm. And so it's really hard to stay quiet sometimes when, customers are literally walking in through your doors and saying, this is unjust, this is not happening again. And so you just said history repeating itself. And that's why it's important that we educate ourselves on what's happened in the past so that we don't allow it to happen again.
Yes.
So I agree with you 100%. And again, everyone is welcome to agree, to disagree. Mm-hmm. We can have civilized conversations about why you feel this is happening and how you don't think what is happening today has anything to do with what's happened in the past. Let's have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Again, we can all agree to disagree. We all have different politics. We try, again, here at the store to stay neutral, but it's really hard. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah, it's really hard. And, there's so many contradictions, daily from the top down, and people are very confused. And, one being like, you have a pro-life regime, but how can you be pro-life and then destroy lives because of the color of people's skin? Pro-life means you're pro-life for anybody and everybody, and no matter what race, color you are. But then On the other end, when people are born, you're persecuting them for the color of their skin. You're destroying families. You're hurting children. So that's a big contradiction for me that, is just another reason for us to fight and stay in the fight and get through this. Again, the pendulum will swing back, and we have to be ready. It always does.
Yeah. And, it's important when we talk about history, bringing it back to the Pachuco history, because a lot of people ask, where did the Zoot Suit start? Who did it start with? Where? And it's, if you watch, again, the PBS special, which is where I always send people because it's history that's been researched and studied and known for fact, that Zoot Suits did start with African Americans in jazz. Where did it start before that? I really couldn't be able to tell you, as a matter of fact, because there's so many different people that come into our store and give us their history, their story. It hasn't been written, it hasn't been verified, so I can't really talk about the validity of that. But it's important that we know that many races and ethnicities have worn the Zoot Suit since its inception back to the late 20s, early 30s. And so, we are a multicultural style of clothing that we carry here, and it's important that we support every single person that walks in through our doors.
Yeah, no matter where the fashion started or who started to wear it, all of that's fashion history. But the fact that the Chicano culture adopted it and champions it to this day is what's important, and that is a symbol of who we are as a community, and we wear it very well, right? And do not ever really waver on, how important it is. And it just keeps getting more beautiful as the generations pass, right? New ideas, new colors, new fashions. So it just keeps growing, the trend, versus, it dying off like other fashion. And
that's something that people have always, reached out to me about, not necessarily all in a positive light, but, they've always said, well, back in the day, they didn't wear them in those colors. Like, you're doing it injustice. But just like you said, fashion changes, times change, fabrics change. And so we can't all walk around in a pinstripe wool, herringbone Zoot Suit, because fabrics have changed, and we're still keeping the culture alive, and we're trying to make sure that we continue the Zoot Suit legacy for generations to come. And with that, we have to understand that, fabrics and times and fashion in terms of what's available and what isn't, and what I can find when I go to fabric manufacturers, and what's going to be accessible to me to be able to bring into the store, to be able to custom make all these different suits for people. So, I just want people to understand that and know that we respect the culture, the traditions, and everything that comes with it. But it's also important to understand that, times change and we have to adapt.
Everything evolves, and everybody,
And why we're doing this cruise.
Yes.
And
Yes.
turning it all the way back, coming back to I know we went on a little, tangent there, but I feel like it's important for those of us who have the platform to be able to speak and to be able to voice what is happening, and, talk about history and talk about what we can do to help our community and continue this culture. But so now let's take it back. Let's relax, take a breather, and take it back to what we are doing and what is happening on August 2nd in Los Angeles.
Can I
Tell
speak
us,
on
Manny,
that?
please. Please, Manny.
I wanted to add to Christina. She's my right-hand person, but long story short, we lost Kevin de Leon. He sponsored our cruises for 3-4 years.
He flipped the bill.
Yeah, so we lost him. So I told Christina, what's the next step? I looked at my calendar. I said, oh, perfect. August 2nd, Saturday, is when Jose Diaz was murdered, 1942, Sleepy Lagoon incident. So perfect day, and we worked on it. And
Jose Diaz's family actually came in here.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
We have them on
We
podcast.
have them on a podcast.
Well, I found his gravesite in East LA.
Yeah.
And we did a little a memorial for him with some Pachucas and Pachucos and put flowers on his gravesite a couple of years ago. So I know where he's buried. I was thinking of doing.
So is there
Little
anything
cruise.
that you need for this event going on?
Well, yeah, we do need sponsorships and we do need funding. Again, like Manny said, we were blessed to have Council Member Kevin De Leon from the Council District 14 support us in this event in many ways. And he is also the council member that issued the formal apology on behalf of the city when we did the 80th anniversary and gave us a beautiful proclamation.
Which is hanging here in our store for those who want to come and see it and read it. So how can they reach out to you directly?
You can reach out to me directly through email, which is aglove711, AGLOVE711 @gmail.com, or you can call me directly at 323-270-5180. And
Nobody call late at night. Have you been?
Actually, I work best late at night. If you want to call me at 3 in the morning, I'm probably there like
Vampire.
Yeah, vampire. But if you're willing to, donate a few bucks to help us make this come alive, we have just, expenses such as just some logistics that we have to cover now that we don't have the council person helping us. We do have Council District 9 that's going to help us close the street and work on those logistics for us, but we still have some other expenses that we will have to cover. And we really want to make it historical. We want to have a history walk. We want to have
historical.
Yes, and we're going to have the Ambertones are going to be there, which was a band that played back in the early 60s at the big Union Hall in Vernon.
And there's going to be a photo shoot.
Photo
Photo
shoot.
with classic cars there.
So we're going to
Tell us
our
about
cruise
that.
is going to look a little different this year. We did a big cruise over the 6th Street Bridge the last couple of years, but this year we're going to meet at the big Union Hall, which is about 6 blocks away from the event site. And the big Union Hall, for those that don't know, was just like the place to be, back in the day. All the band, Willie G, the Ambertones, all kinds of different people. We can't even, some of the posters are on the flyer. And so that was just like the hangout. That's where everybody went to party on Saturday night for $1, and so we're
It ain't $1 no more.
Ain't $1 no more. But we're gonna meet there. It's a really kind of beautiful historical spot, and do a really nice photo op with all the cars and the Zoot Suiters and the people that want to take photos.
This is going to take place on August 2nd
August
at
2nd.
8 in the morning.
At 8 in the morning.
So just so people know, this is for those of you who want to you're in it from the morning until the end. This is going to start at 8 in the morning at Union Hall in
don't
Los
get there at
Angeles.
8.
Yes.
So it'll start at 8 in the morning, photo shoot until...
Where the
10
photo
a.m.
shoot's going to go till 10 a.m. sharp, and then from 10 a.m. sharp, that's where we're going to have our cruise, and our cruise is
15-minute cruise.
little
to
15-minute cruise.
41st Street.
Yes.
To the parking site.
Until we
Okay.
have to the event site, and then the event will we'll load in cars from like 10 to 11, and the event will start at 11 till 4 o'clock.
Until 4 o'clock. And
Yes.
what's happening at the event?
Oh,
Tell
so
us.
we're really hoping to have a really beautiful, educational, artistic type presentation. Of course, we're going to have Vanessa and the Zoot Suiters there, the most beautiful part. We'll have the cars there. We have a high school that may come in and do a Zoot Suit skit for us. So we're trying to find some different things. We're going to have an educational walk with different pieces of the Sleepy Lagoon event and how it transpired and the people that were impacted by it, the young 22 Chicanos that were arrested. We're going to have something about them. We'll have food, vendors, we have DJs, and we'll have some live entertainment.
And you never know who's going to show up.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I want to add to that. The cruise is in the neighborhood of 38th Street, where Henry Leyva was. That's where he grew up, and he was accused for the murder. So that's another reason, because of the historical event. And my good friend Oscar Relas, that's where he grew up. I did a little tour last week with him, and I was surprised that Willie G of the Midnighters grew up right there, 38th Street.
That was his neighbor.
It's a pretty
Yeah,
famous
yeah,
little
it was
neighborhood.
really-
Yeah.
I did not know that till last week, and I took a picture of Willie G's house, and the house of where their first meeting was in 1958 for Duke's Car Club. I was so excited because I love history.
Yes. Oscar goes into real depth talking about it on our podcast. So if you want to listen from, I think, episode
the
2
very
all the way
beginning.
on.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I live in the 40s. I don't have a computer.
I'm going to send
I
it to
don't
your
text.
phone.
It's a very special place. You know, when we've been, you know, even Oscar's old house there still has the garage where they built all those beautiful cars. And so, you know, there's just so many connections there that, you know, because of Oscar and the Ruelases and others in the Lord, you know, they really, you know, kicked off the trend for what we all enjoy today.
Yep.
And so it's important that, again, we as a lowrider community or any community understand our history and how it all began, because it's very important.
Yeah,
You know.
Oscar, Eddie, all of them.
All of them,
So-
the five brothers, they were all amazing, built some of the most beautiful cars
Oh,
out there
yes.
with some of, you know,
They
master
built
car
a-
builders.
Yeah, they built a 38 Chevy for Universal Studios. I believe.
Yes.
They were
For
in the Zoot Suit
Awesome.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Which leads us into August 3rd.
Well, yes, August 3rd, but also since we're talking about the cruise on August 2nd, and Christina mentioned that we are going to have a Zoot Suit fashion show, I do want to throw it out here. Anybody who attends is able to participate, whether you're dressed up in your best Pachuca pinup or if you're dressed up in your Zoot Suit and you want to participate, you want to join us, join in on the fun. Last year, it was so much fun. We got so many people to come out and participate. It was such a huge success. So please, anybody who is going to be attending or is listening and wants to come and be a part of it is welcome.
We'd love you to be there.
Yes.
And just real quick before she goes into August 3rd, this is going to be a Zoot Suit destination weekend.
It is.
And so, yes, we've got a lot of events planned. And so it's not just one day, one event. You know, Vanessa's going to tell you about her awesome thing on Sunday. But whoever comes, we want this to be a weekend of just Zoot Suit filled history and art and events. And
Just have fun.
just have fun. And we'll have places you can go within the city where significant things took place that you can go do some photo ops in between all these events and take pictures and maybe go visit the gravesite of Jose Diaz and so on and so forth. So that will be coming out shortly.
Yes, and you know, where are we? What's today? June 20th, and this is taking place. We have a little bit over a month. So more flyers will come out. We will post them. Christina's amazing on Canva, and so she puts together these great flyers.
Vanessa's my boss. Vanessa's my boss. No.
And information. So we will be posting them out. But, you know, since August 2nd was taking place, we thought, well, how can we add to the excitement? How can we add to what is already happening? And so we decided to collaborate with Daniel Valdez, who, as you all know, aka Henry Reina from the Zoot Suit play and the movie. And so we decided, why not have a sort of kind of relaxing, you know, after a long day at the cruise, have a relaxing day on Sunday. And so we decided to rent the Loera High School amphitheater.
The auditorium.
The auditorium. Is it amphitheater? Auditorium. And so we are going to have Daniel Valdez come and join us for a movie screening, Q&A with Daniel Valdez, and a photo op. So
Yeah,
for
or bring your
those...
best memorabilia from the Zoot Suit
Yeah,
play.
he'll autograph
and
it
he'll
for you.
sign it.
So for those of you who want to make this a destination weekend event, we welcome you all to join us. If you go to our elpachuco.com website, we do have the link because it is a ticketed event on Sunday.
Nothing crazy.
Saturday, it is free and open to the public. Everyone is welcome. Please join us. But also on Sunday, because there's a lot more expenses in renting the amphitheater, we need to make sure that some of those costs are paid for. And we're also partnering with the Estrella Family Foundation, which is our family foundation, and
Our nonprofit.
so our 501c. And so all the proceeds that come from that event are also going to be donated to the foundation for other activities that we have planned for our community here in the city of Fullerton. You know, every year we do backpack giveaways as kids go back to school.
And if you guys want to come here, the event starts at 2. So
Yes,
if you
so
wanna
the
come,
event on August 2nd starts at 2 o'clock. Ray's thinking about, I can already read his mind. He's talking about all driving together, but unfortunately, Ray, we have to be there a lot earlier than 2. So I don't know if he's going to be able to manage that. So,
But if
you know,
maybe
it's
I
on
can
you.
get
We will
my good
meet,
vecino.
we will meet you I will meet you.
But you can bring your car, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can bring
That was my
definitely bring your
question.
cars.
You can
Yes.
bring your rides?
Bring
Yeah.
your
Yes.
We have
cars.
a lot of parking.
Yes.
Bring your
okay.
cars. I'm sure people will be dressed up in their best zoot suit to come out and see the play, do photos, so that you can take photos with the cars.
I just
That would
want to
be
cruise
awesome.
with Daniel Valdez in the
Ray
car.
just wants
Yeah.
to cruise. Well, I don't know. We might, if Daniel comes early and we can talk him into joining us on August 2nd. I'm not promising anything.
And we'll
or-
meet here?
You didn't
in
hear me.
Veracruz?
You didn't hear me just say that.
Meet here
We'll
at
keep
11.
our fingers
Maybe
crossed.
at
But keep our fingers crossed. He might say yes if he comes in early enough.
On both days,
but
yeah. So
on both days. So, again, this is going to be so much fun. We love being able to collaborate
Zoot
with you,
Suit filled
Christina and
Oh,
Manny.
thank you so much. And we are just beyond words to have you collaborate with us and help us and be part of this. It's just really,
well,
a
Manny's
blessing.
family. Manny's been around for a
Yes.
long time.
Yes.
Over 40 years.
Yes.
A long
Yeah,
time.
raised
Yes.
Dad and Phyllis.
Yes.
Great people.
And in hard times, Manny has helped us out a lot. So Manny's a friend, a good friend. And we appreciate
We're
everything he
family.
does for
We're
the community,
family.
the culture, everything.
Yeah.
And the
that-
store.
That's one of the reasons, I'll do anything for Manny because
He tells me that.
yeah,
all the
he comes from such a good place, right? And we do these things because we can. We are blessed to have the the resources and the connections to be able to do certain things like this. And so what we want to do is give it back to people who it really means something to, and that's our community and people like Manny who make these things, a reality. And I just want to give a little shout out to you guys as well, because Vanessa has done amazing things over this last year. She's a Zoot Suit queen, Pachuca, who is now, elected to the local school board, which makes an even bigger impact to her community, which,
Pachuca,
but yes, and
school
we
board.
have to think about those things and their foundation that gives so much back to the kids in this community. Prom dresses. We've done some events where they've hosted some STEM stuff, and we hope to do more of that in the future. But just it's so important that we support these community organizations like El Pachuco. It's not just a place you could come in
Right
and
now,
get
more than
Zoot
ever,
Suits.
because we have a lot
Yes.
of families that we need to help.
Yes, we have a lot of families out there that are in a really dire situation that we all need to come together for, and we need to, in the Japanese internment when that happened, and they came and they gathered up all the Japanese and put them in an internment camp. There was people, mostly Chicanos and others, even whites, in the farm community that took care of their farms while they were interned. And so we have to kind of think about, we have to now step up and take care of our community that's not going to be able to take care of themselves for a while, and their families and their children. And so it's so important, again, that we know this history and we come back and we do what's right so that we can have an even stronger community going forward.
Definitely. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Christina.
I want to add to that. I just found out Henry Leva's family took over a Japanese farm in Paramount, where I'm from, on Garfield and Rosecrans
Wow.
in 1942.
Wow.
Yeah, he grew up in 38th Street, but the family moved there.
Wow.
I just found out a few years ago about that.
Another piece of history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another piece of
Wow.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm from Paramount. Think about it. June 7th, last week or whatever, the riots started in Paramount at that Home Depot. 83 years ago, the Zoot Suit riots were June 3rd for a whole week.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
repeating itself.
Yes.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank you so much.
being here today and talking to us
yay.
about history. I know current events, in addition to what we are putting
Yeah.
together. But I'm so blessed to have
Work
you
with
guys
you.
be here and
Oh,
work with you.
Likewise.
Like
Feeling
Manny
so
said, we are
mutual.
family, and so
Yes.
we are excited for August 2nd and August
Yay.
3rd.
Our
It's gonna be a
destination
lot of
weekend.
fun.
Yes. Yes. So,
So let's
forthcoming
make
will
that
be a
happen.
plan. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for the
much.
idea
El
of-
Pachuco. Yay.
Of having the Zoot Suit movie the next day.
Well,
think
I got to
oh,
give credit where credit is due. That was Ray's idea.
Good,
great.
Ray.
That was Ray that kept pushing and pushing it. And,
You
oh,
guys-
it's going to be
you
a
guys
bad
are one.
idea. And,
Nobody said that.
So,
Great.
oh my God.
Thank you. For
Thank
that.
you. But thank you for all for joining us. And I'm
Yes.
going to close this out by saying check back in with us. There's more to come. And we will, Yes, Christine.
I was going to say, share this podcast with people. Like and subscribe to the channels, to the YouTube channel, to his Instagram, to the Facebook, Apple, Spotify, everything. Like. We need more. We need everybody following that.
Thank you, Christine. And we will see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Stay in touch. Órale.
1, 2, 3. All right. Chicha. Winner. Chuchepa. Chica. Chuch. All right. Rock that boogie, 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 rock that boogie.